what up, man? What up? What's going on with you? Oh God. Oh God. And I know it take a toll. Ain't no easy past tricks. Look, man, this shit is getting out of hand. You got 50 versus T.I. or T.I. versus 50, however you want to look at it. Before we even get into it, my name is Blaine Bent. You are rocking with me today, your host. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the platform. We building the plane as we fly it. You feel me? Oh man, the game is crazy. It's messy right now. You know, it's tough, right? Because hold on, we gonna have to pour some wine. We gonna have to really you feel me? Because this is one of them ones. You feel me? It's one of them ones. So look, right? T.I. verse 50. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted because I'm from both areas, right? I was born in Kings County, moved around a lot, lived in Long Island with my grandparents, aunts, uncles, moved to Sudford, Queens. You know, you know what I'm saying? I move around, you know what I mean? And I'm here upstate Ithaca, New York. But half of my life has also been living in Atlanta. You know what I mean? I've been, living in Lithonia, Georgia. You know what I mean? Moved to DeKalb, right? Moved to Decatur. You know what I'm saying? Like out there in Cedar Grove. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because, it's like I know both worlds when it comes to just music, the perception of these dominant artists in their own lane, in their own coast, in their own region. When I was in the A, I was playing heavy T.I., Jeezy, Gucci, Future even. You know what I'm saying? Travis Porter, if y'all even know that, before the Migos became the trio. We had Travis Porter, you know what I'm saying? And of course, living in New York, being from New York, it was a lot of 50, a lot of Jay-Z, a lot of Big, a lot of Pac, a lot of Mobb Deep, a lot of, just that New York grit. You know what I'm saying? Man, like I remember both timelines, like back when Sprite Remix was a thing. Like I'm trying to talk to you, like back when like the big oversized tees with the G Unit, like part of the reason why I'm wearing do-rags till this day, I could probably attribute that to 50 if I'm keeping it funky. You feel me? And it's tough because, they both got mega hits, and even though I'm a New York native, I'm trying my best to not come off biased, but 50's hits it's on an astronomical level. You know what I'm saying? Like respectfully to T.I. Respectfully, right? But T.I. ain't no slouch either. T.I. got them hits too. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the run. Look, whether both parties, were in court about things or not, I'm just here to grade the music. You know what I'm saying? And the impact of said music. being that I've lived in both time zones and areas at that point in time, it's like it's just hard to really, but even aside from that, right? Let's talk about what's going on currently. You got the whole Harris family, you know what I'm saying, having a roast session on some Golden Corral flows. You know what I'm saying? Or all you can eat, right? Trading shots with 50 rather put up memes. You got King, Damani, dropping tracks left and right. But Damani that just recently dropped, the Mrs. Jackson joint, that elevated it to a whole other space. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a beautiful flex to have your family, champion their mother, protect their family and what they got going on, and capitalize on the moment and the momentum, for T.I. to drop his album. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure he got some crazy bangers. They said they saying on the internet, like, ever since he cut off the dreads, he brought that old TIP back. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the album is gonna sell nostalgia, that shit's gonna be crazy. It could potentially be a classic. I'm hearing this his final album, which is crazy because it's like, as artists, when do we have the right to ever say something is final? But I guess that just means like maybe you're done putting out ideas to the world. I don't think people truly ever stop doing what they love like that, for real. Especially the way how the family geared up to make tracks. Like, I would have been cooking with my kids, and I'm sure they probably gonna be on the album, which should be, expected in a way, or something special. So, I think that's what's dope about it. What I can say that I don't like about what's going on is, no matter who started what, it's like in this culture of battle raps, there truly is no line. You can call someone a pedophile or a PDF style. You know what I'm saying? You can do the PDF style jutsu on somebody now and get away with it. You could go to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? You could talk about people's deceased parents and just get to the raps, right? But, I'm learning and understanding that, people like the mess. People don't give a fuck about your skill set like that. If anything, that's like a side thing to have, or like damn near a requirement to have. But the main entree should be the like complete, utterly disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Like straight disrespect. No metaphor, just straight head tap a motherfucker. You feel me? And so in this climate where, it's just headshots, and crazy mugshots, it's just diabolical out here. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy out here. And I'm not saying I don't drop diss records. I have. You know what I'm saying? You could check those out. But my level of how I kept it, my standard, I know I can't impose on anybody. And so in my mind, where I win is how I stick to my standard. To the world, even if I present raw talent in a controlled, seasoned way, if it's not salacious enough, or if it's not, you know what I mean, just so directly disrespectful, like, you know what I'm saying? If it's not that, then it's like, 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 you cool, you got wordplay, you doing your thing, but, you know what I'm saying? We were looking for that, and I think if you push anybody, right, like that type of venom can come out, right? Being that T.I. and 50 are both businessmen and 50 not responding, people are just automatically chalking it up that 50 lost. And to keep it a stack, I don't see it like that. And it's not New York bias or anything. It's just that, you know, it is true that you gotta be careful what you respond to, or what you know, if it like, you just gotta, it's not even me saying like he's ducking the fade. It's more so saying like, you know, people don't get the psychology behind dropping the memes and fucking with the mindset and the mental of the opponent, right? Like, if I'm not in the space to go at somebody, you got to think about it. He got to go at a whole family by himself, right? One could make the argument that, yo, shit, if Banks was still solid with 50, then Banks would have pulled up and dropped tracks, no problem. That's true. When you have a crew, you can assign certain tasks to certain people to keep, you know, the energy going, right? But I think when you get to a certain age and level in business and you make that transition and you pivot, you only move at that point when it's beneficial to you. It's not because the world wants to see blood, like how J. Cole said it, right? It's not just like, you got to understand, this nigga not only read the 48 Laws of Power, but he made the 50th too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, trying to trick him out his bag or out his spot, you can't do that to 50. He's not going for it, you know? Motherfuckers, and I say this all the time, motherfuckers get peer pressured into doing some shit that they ultimately regret because their heart wasn't fully in the decision making of that play, right? And you got to calculate the angles, you got to calculate the time that is put into it, you know, and you got to set it up to where you design your win. It's not just, oh, we're just battling to showcase talent. No one gives a fuck about talent, so you can't bait him with that. You know what I'm saying? And so where people are going to win going up against a guy like 50, you're better off getting off your shit, right? And then having a product along the way, whether it's a movie, a show coming up, and you're starring in it, or you're producing it, or an album you about to drop, you know, or you can go on a couple of interviews talking about what's going on, get your name circulating through the algorithm, then pivot it into something that you want to have like, because that's what 50 is doing. 50, in a way, if y'all really think about it, he's putting them to work to get him hot, and being that 50 is who he is already, they get hot in return. And so we could think that, oh my God, like so-and-so said this and so-and-so said that. But, you know, being that these guys are businessmen, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't even put it past folks to have a phone call and be like, yo, that shit was crazy. Like, yo, that track, yo, Damani son, yo, genius move. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, because when you're numb like 50, and your priority is your business and the chess moves that you got that's not even involving rap, you know what I'm saying? You could fuck around and laugh at your own pain without it really being a problem or escalating in the streets. And so, you know, being that I pray to God that nothing comes out of this in a negative way on either side, right? Being that if it is like that, then hell yeah, like bring your aunt, your cousins, your uncle, your granddad, your grandma, everybody get a diss track. Goddamn, that's gonna be the ultimate promo. Everybody gonna eat, you know. But another thing that I want to draw a parallel to is what they did to Drake, right? when Drake dropped the push-ups joint and had the G-Unit spinner chain, right? And I think that was in the Family Matters video too. When that happened, we clearly saw the person that had their business right, had their hits right, you know, everybody wanted them to lose, because it's like when you win for so long, people got tired of just seeing you at the top, that they want another champion to champion. And then when they big that champion up, you can't be surprised if they want somebody else to take that champion that they propped up. You know, and it's like that cycle where, you know, you have a run only but for so long. And the funny thing about it is, if you do nothing, they'll say you lost anyway, the same way how 50 did nothing but troll with memes. Drake did both, right? Drake trolled with memes. Even though people didn't like it, people were captivated because we're all glued to our phones and our social medias anyway. And let me just speak, you know, for y'all, because for me, I know when to detach and go about my own thing, so it doesn't really impact me like that. But for the rest of the world, you guys was all in Drake's story on IG looking up what track or what movie he posted that he feels like he relates to, and oh, what does that mean? And you know, y'all do a lot of investigative work. You know what I mean? And Drake knows that. And so even if y'all think it's corny, the psychology behind captivating the audience to be entertained or in on what's gonna happen next, instead of just, you know, going away and you don't hear nothing from anybody, you know, we could salute Drake for that, right? And at the same time, Drake didn't have to participate just because Cole threw the first shot, the first track out there with the 7-minute drill. He could have just fell back and just watched how Cole would have handled that. And instead, it was like he dropped. And I'm trying to remember the order. I'm trying to remember if Cole dropped and then immediately took it back, and then Drake dropped right after the take back, or if he dropped before Cole retracted his track. That order does matter, but either way, once the world heard the Like That joint, because of how Kendrick felt about the first person shooter, saying it's just Big Him, fuck the Big Three or whatever, you know, if I'm Drake hearing that, me personally, now that I got hindsight, maybe that's why it influences me to say this now, but I think even me, if I didn't have what I have now about the information that how everything played out from the Grammys to the stomp out on the Super Bowl, you know, I would have sat back and just been like, you know what, like, if Buddy really wants to take it there, and I've been fuming over the years trading sub shots with this dude, from the BET cipher to, you know, the shit joint with Future and Drake, you know, talking about the consciousness and you know, all of that, whatever. It's like me personally, if you go in, you go all in. And I mean all in. I don't mean lawsuit. I don't, you know, because, you know, and the reason why I say that is because even though you make so much money because you're a mega business superstar, the fact that you went in, people are now going to hold you to the hip hop standard that, you know what I'm saying, has been a thing since the conception of the platform, of the art form. And when you come into it and then you invite the law or the police to the underground fight club, it's like, well, damn, like, You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be on our best behavior now. You made a track called Worst Behavior. Now we gotta be on our best behavior when it comes to dissing you or talking about anything. Like, that's whack. That's really whack, bro. That's really the critique to Drake too, is that, like, if you're gonna go in, win, lose, or draw, you gotta go all in. And, you know, at the same time, you also gotta understand that a lot of people hate you because you win so much. And so if you know that math already about people hating you that much, but you go into it anyway, I'm giving you props going in, but you got to see it through. Even if Not Like Us came out, right? And I've told this to my homie. I was like, yo, like, the way how the Heart Part 6 was written, I never heard Drake on the defensive like that. You know, he tried to justify it by saying if he was famous, he would have already been in jail for the accusations of being a PDF, or, which was terrible to say. It was just like, dog, like, there's so many people that, still get caught up no matter if they're famous or not. But then not only that, it was like with beats like that, when you timestamp, right? We know Drake to go all the way in on a timestamp. So it was like for him to kind of just fall back, and then the Not Like Us drops. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why people feel like it was defeated. And so that's why for me, and Drake, if you ever got a chance to watch this, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why even for me, when I made Paint the Sky in Blood on the Heart Part 6 that you dropped, the beat, I was just trying to showcase, like, how lethal I know you can get to that point where, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if Not Like Us came out, but you were still on the offensive on that type of beat, I'm counting on you at that point to go hit for hit, and shit. If Not Like Us was the hit, I would have dropped Nokia. If you had it right then, I don't know, but I probably would have dropped Nokia paired with another strong hit. So I would have gave 2 hit options. And I'm not saying that you couldn't write one mega hit to clash with that mega hit, but being the way how the narrative was shifting at that time, you want to drop 2 bombs right after that. You want to Pearl Harbor Day shit right after that. I like, not even just 2 tracks. Like, me and my mans was talking about this. Like, you should have had a whole mixtape if you really decided on going in that way. Going all in. I would have had a whole War Chest album for homie. They would have had no choice but to compare that album plus the Lucy's you dropped that leads up to that album. That would have been like, you could call it a mixtape, whatever, but I would have dropped like a 10-pack the way or an 11-track joint, the way how G and X came out, and then they would have no choice but to compare those tapes. Whether the world loves your shit or hates your shit or not, it's just gonna be a comparison thing because you guys are already compared. And with that, you not only do your Lucy's count, but your tape would count, and you would just be in rotation. Given, you know what I'm saying? Like to where even if you didn't have the mega bona fide like hit like Not Like Us, if you had like, you know what I'm saying, 5 to 8 bona fide slaps, you know what I'm saying? It's still like you would just give people to be like, yo, I don't know though. Like, it would always be like the either or situation because that's how you pulled up, minus the lawsuit. And even if they said you lost, like, bro, that's some commendable shit because I was rooting for you. It got kind of hard to root for somebody that throws the lawsuit shit in there. And you my mans, and I'm willing to say that on camera. I rock with Drake heavy, point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? I like some of Kendrick's joints. I don't have to, downplay him to big up the other guy. I think they both are great at what they do, and they both have their time and place for when we need to play the music, right? But what I'm saying is that, for the people that was on Drake's side, me included. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what I was looking forward to. And when I didn't get that because I saw the world and the internet and the narrative turn against you because you participated, and then you leaned on the lawsuit to really lean on the white boy phrase that Rick Ross threw in the in the spot to poison the well. It's kind of like, damn, like. And then like with ICE, with ICE being such a topic now, politically, it's like having the title Iceman. It's just crazy. You know what I mean? And you Canada based, so we get it. But it's like the timing, you know what I mean? And the title, and it's just crazy, bro. You were better off naming Iceman the album Sub-Zero, since you got the album Scorpion, and then you could just be like, yo, this is the polar opposite of Scorpion, however you see that to be. And I'm just alley-ooping the concept. So if you named it Sub-Zero, you could have a track called Fatality on that project and people would understand why. You know what I'm saying? But again, like, you want to call it Iceman. I don't know if it's because of the Pharrell chains or your lifestyle being so icy and Tumaza and shit, and that shit is saucy, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? I just pray to God that, and like, it's about to get warm now too, bro. So maybe just drop the Iceman, closer to the October's very own, or November going into December of this year. Just tease us to death with singles, or what I've been saying is just build it up and fall back. Be with your kid, be the father of the year for your kid. You know what I'm saying? And just let the game, when I heard people say that, let the game miss you a little bit, I was like, nah, man, fuck that shit. Like, he gotta go all in. Like, he gotta, you know what I'm saying? Cause y'all trying to play him like he not him. And you know what I'm saying? But then I start to think about it. And then when I'm seeing what's going on with 50 analyzed what y'all did to Drake. You know what I'm saying? Why respond when y'all don't care about how hard I'ma go, when y'all already got y'all mind fixated on the winner? Y'all already said T.I. was the winner, the first fucking track, the second track, the third track. And then when the kids double dutch and jump in, and it's like, oh my God, the whole family's outside. Like, y'all already feel like they won based off how they pulled up and delivered and fed you guys material. With 50, it's like, oh, okay, if y'all could do that to the biggest artist in the world, what makes him exempt from the same way? Y'all just want to see the biggest so-called bully of New York, take a L, and he doesn't have to stain his career to a nigga from the South in any shape or form. You know what I'm saying? And doing nothing and letting your opponent crash out is actually a war general tactic. But I'm not expecting 85-90% of the population to be smart and think like that. Y'all niggas is sheep. Y'all niggas is dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Y'all so dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just gonna find something to do later anyway. Y'all gonna find something to love anyway. And yo, if that T.I. album drop and that shit only do 50K and he's T.I., you know what 50 gonna do. But at that point, how real was your support anyway? Even if you already, declared him the winner. You see what I'm saying? Don't let that 50K come out. T.I. better put his wallet up and buy his own albums till it's 100K. That's what these niggas be doing anyway. Niggas be going to Best Buy buying out their whole shelf. Yo, nigga, like, I'm telling you something. Save yourself the embarrassment. You either got mad slaps and you plug in your placements where you need to and you generate that buzz for the tape to where it's like, goddamn, like he really did that. Or if it's looking a little bleak, a little meek on the millies, you know what I'm saying? Then, and that's not a diss, that's just wordplay. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's looking like that, inflate the numbers, man. I ain't even gonna be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Because they will laugh at you. They will laugh at you. And then the other side of people that are rocking with 50, they gonna speak for 50 before 50 do 50. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? How a nigga trying to diss 50, but he barely sold 50. You know what I'm saying? Like I could already see the play. So you know what I'm saying? So you know the world's full of shit. We just gonna call that out, Rick. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna call that out, man. Y'all don't give a fuck, man. Y'all don't give a fuck, bro. Like I witnessed that shit firsthand. Motherfuckers couldn't wait to say the PDF shit at the Super Bowl, live on camera. Everybody watching in the world. You know, niggas couldn't wait to chant that shit. You know, for me, I feel a way about that shit because, you know, that's not how I want to win my trophy. But we live in a society and in a world where it's anything goes, and you know, people are gonna do whatever they want for the win. And so, in knowing that, the best strategy at that point is to find your own win. Win how you want to win. Don't win because people put batteries in your back to, you know, have you crash out or have you do something that's gonna deter you from your win. Win how you want to win. Be careful to what you respond to, because once you respond, that's when they hold your feet to the fire. You know what I'm saying? When you doing memes and trolling shit, anybody can troll from their living room or their mom crib. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could use the internet and talk shit. But the moment you submit that track, you know, the moment you do that, that's when they're gonna expect an album or roll out, or, you know what I'm saying? And see, 50 so cold, this nigga could write a T.I. lookalike ass nigga in one of his shows, in one of his episodes, and then have 50 appear in the episode and done the man off like it's no problem. He might even call the nigga Tippy or some shit just to kind of allude to T.I., right? You never, like, bro, the creativity, like, I'm trying to tell y'all something. Y'all think it's a game. Y'all think it's a game. That nigga can cook a character that look just like T.I. and done that man off in an episode. You know, you see him in the first episode, you see him at the end of that episode. Like, you know what I'm saying? Grand opening, grand closing. I'm just telling you, like, there's ways to come at people. It don't have to be on wax. That's our own, you know, selfish desires and consumeristic shit that we want to put on others that have clearly, you know, escaped living on survival mode. This ain't How to Rob. How to Rob 50 was a hungry 50. You know what I'm saying? When you wearing tailor-made fitted suits, fresh cut, you know what I'm saying, grabbing a bag of popcorn, laughing at the world while it's on fire, my nigga, what? You can't trick a man out of his spot like that over some trivial shit. And so that's really, you know, y'all just gotta understand where y'all at. Because I rather, for Drake, knowing what we know, to just be like, you know what? That record, that's how he feel. Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, he teamed up with Future. You know, me and Future, we ain't really vibing like that anymore. Damn, that's a loss. You know, fuck it. You know what? If that's the type of timing he on, then let's see what else he got. I'm not feeling that shit. I think Drake even said that shit wasn't even all that anyway. I ain't gonna lie, Drake. That beat was fucking retarded. Okay? That beat was retarded. I don't really like the verse. A lot of people like it. I think the verse was straight. It's not really to side with you. That's just how I feel. I think the verse was straight. But that beat was bananas. When that shit came, like, I was just like, yo, wait, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's traumatic for me. You know what I'm saying? Because the follow-up after that is just so fucking crazy. Okay? And all I'm seeing is, like, if you never jumped in the ring, you know, you still could have made push-ups, because that beat was fire if you had it. You still could have made certain songs because you know, you a subliminal king too. You can say some shit, but it don't really have to gel on one person. It can, you know, be applied to multiple people. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, like, I just feel like niggas punked you out your spot, man. And that shit's hard to watch. Niggas tricked you out your motherfucking spot, bro. And you could feel like you won. You could feel like, oh, like, y'all gotta take me out with facts. I feel you. I feel you. But it because of what you did, the narrative shifted in K-Dot's favor. You know, and it's not an American thing. That nigga pulled up on your turf in Toronto and sold them bitches out. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't just an American thing too. You might want to check your backyard, bro. Straight up. That nigga was making bones in your backyard, bro. While revealing certain skeletons in your backyard, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's some of the most coldest fucked up shit I ever seen. And it kind of put like a whole different layer to coming at people with diss tracks. You know, I put up my diss tracks. You know, I dissed K-Dot. I held you to the fire. I dissed, you know, I dissed Cole, Big Sean, Umar, Fauci. You know what I'm saying? Paint the Sky in Blood, Circadian Tuxedo. Check it out for yourself. You'll hear what I'm saying. Drake, I freed you. Whether you acknowledge it or not, bro. I'm the only nigga in the world. The only nigga in the world. Right? To look at that owl that Kendrick caged up at the end of his Not Like Us video and go, nah, I gotta peel the seal off. I gotta peel the jutsu seal off because my man's he ain't out just yet. But he tried to neutralize your powers. He tried to really seal you off. And I just wasn't rocking with that. We dropped Why the Cage Bird Sings. You know what I'm saying? We did that for you, Drake. So don't come at me with that shit about just because I got criticisms, you can't rock with niggas like me that think like this, bro. Because dead ass, if I was in the war room with you, strategizing, if you really wanted to go to war, I would have had your back in the war. Even if I took the L and was lumped in the mix, called as a PDF. I chose to write from a standpoint of this is how I feel. But ultimately, me being an unknown nigga, it don't matter what the fuck I say. Like, I'm gonna get a couple of views, I might get a couple of followers, and I'm really showcasing skill, talent, concept. You know, it's no different from what I was already doing for myself, but I felt like I rock with your music. I don't know you personally, right? But I rock with your music. And I felt like, you know, even for 50, you know, I'm feeling like I should just hop on a T.I. beat like how I said I was gonna hop on the beat, you know, talking to my dude in the A, you know, and just, you know what I'm saying? Just style on the beat, just throw a hard freestyle. But now that all of this shit came out, it's like, I gotta fight a whole family, nigga. I gotta bomb a whole family when I grew up on T.I.'s music. When I grew up living in the A, you know what I mean, listening to Southern artists do their thing, and you know, I was rocking in that time period, like, you know, like I'm torn. Not really torn, because it's not that big of a deal, you know. But I love 50's music too. I relate to 50 too. You know what I'm saying? Niggas hating on you so much. You know, I can't relate to the bullet holes and all of that. We invaded those. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even trying to diss 50 like as if I'm afraid of 50. But at the same time, being the New York in me is like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? like the New York in me is just like, yo, push up. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, like, you know, world. I don't really know where I'm gonna go with this, man. I gotta do. I feel compelled to do something. I just don't know what. You know, I love to be the balance of shit, and so, you know, I'm gonna have to get creative if I'm gonna jump in. But I'm gonna say this, right? The same shit I said before. Be careful to what you respond to. Because just because I think it's a sport for me doesn't mean that somebody on the other side isn't willing to ride for who they ride for and say fuck all of that rapping for a sport shit. Like, nigga, you talented, but you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas be quick to shoot something. Niggas be quick to blick something down. Niggas be quick to stab something. You know, you gotta be careful out here. Like, it be niggas that'll do something for some rep, you know, just to get a name. It don't even gotta be the main people that you going at. It could be the outside subsidiary, you know, if I'm saying the word right, niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, and I already knew that coming into the game, dissing Kendrick. You know, dissing mad niggas. Mad niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because like, see, my whole thing is we don't give a fuck about none of that shit. We don't. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, as an artist, how many fucking beefs do I gotta get entangled in just to be considered as a contender making music? And then even then, it's like, I don't want to be known for battle rapping niggas. I make fire music as is. I don't want the world to be fixated on what's the next clever fucked up thing that Blaine's gonna say just so we can play his music. Fuck that. Fuck that. I hopped in the Drake K-Dot war because I knew that war was brewing up since time, nigga. Since Kendrick went on tour, on the Club Paradise tour, I already knew. Nigga, since Buried Alive, nigga. You know, y'all don't listen to music like how artists be listening to music. Like, nigga, the codes be popping up. My antenna be fine-tuned to what's being said and how it's said and why it's said. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas just be, oh man, good music, good vibe. Good vibe, bro. You know, a lot of y'all doofy niggas be on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, we analyze the codes and the patterns of fuck shit or of glorious shit. You know what I'm saying? But, so yeah, I already knew this shit was coming. That's why I was preparing myself the whole way. A lot of artists probably thought I was talking about them the whole time. Nope. Nope. Y'all niggas was practice. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas was practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, I'm telling you something, man. Like, I really locked the fuck in. That when that shit happened, it wasn't even a buffer on what the fuck to do. It wasn't even a buffer. I already knew I was gonna be a legend. I was gonna be one of the coldest after that. After I put pen to sheets, it was over. A lot of you niggas missed that window. A lot of you niggas is trying to recreate that window. A lot of you niggas is trying to probably create a fictitious beef to have that type of glory. You'll never have it. The moment passed. You know what I'm saying? If you try to make some shit now, we have the receipt that you made it after the fact. Meaning you got so much motherfucking hindsight and facts of everything that happened that of course, who couldn't write some shit about some shit that happened, nigga?
But that's why niggas always have the saying of, nigga, you just had to be there. You know what I'm saying? It hit way different when you was there at the heart of it, at the start of it, you know. And so not to really Drake out the whole episode, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, I rock with Drake and shit like that. And, you know, I'm looking forward to the Iceman album. A lot of people are already writing it off, saying it's trash. To be honest, I just want him to deliver, you know, and whether it's talking about Kendrick or not, I really don't, I'm not fixated on that anymore. I already did my job for that, and so I don't really care too much for that. But I know if he adds that, it's going to have, you know, some staying power because you guys want to dissect it, and most likely Kendrick is probably going to drop right after it and, you know, usurp that power anyway. And so that's probably why Drake's taking his time, you know, and that's smart. You know what I'm saying? Cole just dropped. You know what I'm saying? This nigga dropped a Honda Accord music video for Old Dog, with his car in the air getting fixed. I mean, look, we get it, Cole. You humble as shit. We get it, my nigga. Like, god damn, we get it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, 50 don't gotta do shit. Not because I'm New York biased in any way. 50 don't gotta do shit. When you up there like that, and when you know the internet and you know that people are full of shit, you don't gotta feed them. You don't gotta serve them. Fuck them niggas. Fuck the internet. Fuck the world. You know what I mean? Land your deals. You know, use the promo to elevate into other areas, into the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got money to throw at shit if it ever happened to cool that shit down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, when you up there like that, only the hip hop fanatic niggas is gonna be like, oh, he lost, and oh my god. But it's like, of course you bitch ass niggas would be like, oh, he lost because he never swung. You know what I'm saying? And that's the funny part. Y'all have seen 50 swing before, and y'all are easily to write him off like, oh, he lost. Like, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. And look, beefing, maybe it's too early to say, maybe it's too much of a hot take. I feel like beefing is going to get played out as a content strategy, right? I'm seeing a lot of, you know, podcasters or niggas that got shows on YouTube war with their friends, you know, have this fictitious beef cooked up where they go back and forth for content. You know, they'll say it's not about content and then be chummy on a live, and it's just nasty to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. It be grown men. You know, all of a sudden now, you know, niggas don't gossip but then talk about other people's business, which, you know, whether information is public or not, niggas is talking about other niggas' business like as if it's their business. And it's just, I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas gotta be sturdy on what the fuck they stand on. If they feel a way, express how you feel without trying to protect the person's feelings in the process. So you kind of like halfway say what you want to say, and then you get frustrated that niggas still don't understand you because your audience is confused. And then next thing you know, everything's back to normal. Like, it's crazy, especially when you watch both people or multiple people and you hear how they really feel and you hear the pot shots that are taken. And you know what I'm saying? Niggas watch from the cloud, but hear what that dude said and then run to their channel and then start up a live to then say something. It's like, yo, this YouTube shit, honestly, man, I don't know. Y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta do better. Like, if you run out of ideas, just say that, my nigga. You know, because me personally, if I ever had a situation with one of my close friends, I would talk to them direct, off the internet, period. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept. I don't understand why niggas gotta cue the camera and act fake tough for views and for cash apps. You know what I'm saying? To smear your friend, your so-called friend, your brethren. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like that nigga, when he hear it, that nigga's confused about it. You know, and look, here I am gossiping because I'm not even telling niggas names about who the fuck I'm talking about. You see how easy it is to just do that? And I could admit that it is what it is. You know, you niggas keep fighting the funk, man. And at the end of the day, you know, just keep it real with yourself, man. The shit it's hard to watch, especially when niggas is fans of niggas and niggas want to actually learn something about whatever we follow y'all for. And then it's just convoluted with emotions that, you know, is unresolved. It's like, yo, have a phone call, my nigga. Have a phone call. Like, practice talking to each other outside of the net. You know what I'm saying? Making it our business. It's like, we care because in a way we follow y'all, so we watch y'all. But it's like, we don't give a fuck about that shit for real, nigga. And for the niggas that want to see y'all torn apart, fuck them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Who give a fuck about them niggas? You know what I mean? Like, niggas gotta understand, when you old as shit, don't be raising your blood pressure trying to explain some shit to niggas that don't give a fuck anyway. Like, what part of the game is that? Like, I don't understand the funny style shit. And then the other part about it is that niggas will act like, oh, you stole some of their sauce, or so they feel like they got carte blanche to see what you doing, take what you doing, and not, you know, mention you because of whatever. You know, nigga, like, it's messy. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, my views may not be, you know, awesome as fuck right now, but, you know, that'll change over time when I put in the work. You feel me? So, you know, it's just, that's what this episode is about today. It's just the fake outrage, the fake beef for content. You know what I'm saying? Like grow up. Niggas be having like whole educational lives about what men and women should do, and then turn around and sound like petulant children arguing about some shit that deep down they really could just laugh about it and act like they could move past it. But every time when they do that and then something else is slick that's said, niggas want to go right back to how they originally felt. It's like, yo, you niggas is old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be damned if I caught myself, you know, crashing out at a partner of mine when I could just yell them up on the phone and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's squash that shit, because I'm trying to cook content without putting so much of my frustration on my personal life on the net for content. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's crazy to say, because I put a lot of my life in music. My music is personal content, right? And so maybe I'm a hypocrite too. You know what I mean? But as a fan, I'm just saying, just dial it back a little bit, because true niggas ain't really there to just hear y'all rant about the same shit for 5 days straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we gotta listen to just hopefully hear something refreshing out of all of that. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, and look, I ain't nobody. Like, I ain't paying y'all bills. If y'all feel like that's a strategy and that's what's working for y'all, shit, who the fuck am I, right? I probably just wouldn't watch, you know, like, I probably would just, you know, say, fuck it, let me just make the shit that I want to listen to and I want to hear, like how I make the music, right? It's the same thing. Like, the reason why I don't listen to mainstream radio anymore is because they're all saying the same shit, or they're all trying to stir up controversy when really they're all homies behind closed doors. It's like, man, fuck all of that noise, man. I'm gonna create the shit I want to listen to. You know, I be watching back my own episodes, looking at how fly I look, talking and delivering, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I take pride in certain things, and like I said, we'll get there over time, but that's really my critique to just everybody trying to beef now just to keep people entertained. And you could say all of that shit about, you know, well, negativity sells faster or whatever, but it's like, you know, you gotta be mindful too of the energy you putting out there, man. You can't be surprised if somebody really push up on you in real time and air your shit out. You know what I'm saying? And all of that airing niggas chest talking about how niggas wouldn't. Man, there's too much on file and on record, you know, that show that niggas will and niggas can. You know what I mean? All of that. And then when I say that, it's, oh man, you know, niggas is just playing, you know, niggas is just joking. Niggas can't take jokes now. It's like, nigga, it's kind of hard to tell if niggas is joking, if niggas is really getting in their fifis or their emotions about some shit that's said about they mans or from they mans. Sound very real to me, but if y'all are high paid actors, just say so. Straight up, just say so. Why run from it? You know what I'm saying? So that's really my take on it. I think personally the Harris family cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? Damani is definitely the highlight of the family with his record, Miss Jackson. You know, shout outs to fucking 50. You know what I'm saying? Cause yeah, I'm not responding either if I'm 50. I already won in life. Catch up, nigga. Catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like, catch up. Niggas is what chicks say, like to Yayo, this nigga, you know, is out in Morocco eating like, you know, Australian nipples or not Australian nipples, and ostrich nipples, you know, roasted ostrich or some shit. That shit had me dying. Y'all gotta go check chicks out, man. That nigga funny as fuck. But nah, yeah, man. It's like, you know, life. It's just sad that niggas gotta be negative to make or content or push units. Like, you know, respectfully, like, you know, I'd rather take the other way. I'd rather take the honorable way. It might not pay as much. I could find other ways to get paid as much, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I just, man, yo, the world's in a sad state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tune out from a lot of this shit. Like, a lot of the T.I. records, they was cool. They was cool. Like, he didn't, let me tell you, man, I heard missiles, yeah. You know, but what's a missile to a force field, my nigga? This nigga 50 is a walking Magneto, my nigga. Like, this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you niggas really understand. Like, I don't think you niggas understand. Y'all tricked Drake. Y'all tricked Drake out of his shit. Drake in every record gonna act like he not bothered, right? But him constantly responding and delivering and leaking is letting niggas know that he care. And we know that he care. And anybody that took a beating like that in front of the world should care. But I think like his sophomore album, he should tell niggas and the rest of the world, yo, take care. Like, I gave y'all niggas summers, anthems, classics. Hold on, let me pour more drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop playing with me. You know, to Drake. Like, if I gave niggas summers, classics, bangers for every mood, situation, when you feeling successful, you play that We Made It. You fucking a bitch from the back and you play that We Made It, nigga. Do you know the feeling of what that record could do for you when you playing We Made It, nigga? Like y'all niggas gotta stop the cap. Y'all niggas gotta stop the cap, nigga. Like, straight Ash Ketchum. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gotta cut the cap. Like, it's just crazy. Like, this nigga really gave bangers, bro. And I seen y'all niggas try to strip away his black card. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay Black, man. I got that stripped away. They stripped the power away. Y'all try to strip that man's power away, man. Y'all can't do that. You can't. But y'all definitely can take away something that none of us have control over, which is a fictitious narrative. or a narrative in general, right? If you want to change the channel, change the story, not follow the podcasters, not follow the rappers, you absolutely can do that. You know, they'll tell you up and down they don't care, you know, what's one out of all the followers that are brainwashed following them. But to keep it funky, you know, with niggas that are actually like genuine people, you lose a lot, my nigga. You actually lose a lot. You know, because a lot of fake niggas watching you ain't healthy for you either. You thinking you the realest nigga just because you got fake niggas watching you and fake niggas throwing their money at you. That shit don't make you real, bro. If anything, a lot of fake niggas find something they could identify with you watching you in the first place. You might want to understand that side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? You know, I talk this shit, man, because, you know, ain't nothing none of y'all could do with me. Real shit. You know, real shit. Niggas can, but knowing that niggas can create at free will, nigga, if I pull up to your panel, I pull up to your panel. If I drop the link to my episode of my show, you're more than welcome to pull up. But either way, you know what I'm saying? The show must go on. And, you know, that's one of the lessons that I feel like we could take away from watching the greats. You know, there's a lot of shit attached to Hov's name. You know what I'm saying? The more successful you are, it's like everybody got something to say about you. Whether it's true or false, your name generate clicks, likes, attention. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, you know, that's where we are in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? That's where we are. Like, and you know, I just think that you know, we just all gotta lock in on what's important to us. You know, T.I., he showed that his family is important to him, and clearly, you know, his family pulled up to support him and their mom. And I think that's fly. Whether you think the tracks was ass or not, they showed up. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they pull on the heartstrings of the people. They showed up. You know what I'm saying? If they just sat back and watched their father getting bullied or get smashed on, and it's like they all had the talent, but they didn't do nothing about it. I mean, damn, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's just admirable to see family pull up like that for you, you know? And for 50, you know, my man's made a joke about it. He was like, who is he gonna call? Yayo? You know, but it was just like, damn, like, you know, Fifth, you know, he clashing with his family. Like, you see where you can find your win. Even if T.I. couldn't beat 50, T.I. could then just be like, well, at least I got my family. At least I still got my mom. At least I could still provide for everybody in my family and eat at the dinner table still with my family. That's really his ultimate win. It's not the raps. It's not the diss or the disses that came out. It's his family, bro. On some Dom Toretto shit. Straight up. They happened to pull up fast and furious for sure. But the true win was the family being together. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of niggas is not rich in that department. That's truly where you could say 50 lost. Because in life, he just has a terrible relationship with people in his family. You know, and it could be attributed to how he grew up, how he, you know, had to face certain harsh realities to acquire power, how he understands how power is used in this world and how he's able to have it as leverage once he got, you know, into a certain space and position. And it's like when you get a taste of that, it's like, why would you step down from that just to be in the pig pen and, roll around in the mud with people that got no problem being from the mud, because being from the mud is what they brag about. They know how to effectively play in the mud. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a man in a business suit, in a shiny suit, in a tailored suit, smoking cigars and crispy edge ups, to then see yourself in the mud. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even trying to shit on like T.I. family saying they dirty niggas and shit like that. Nah. But they do say the dirty South for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real hood shit. It's real raw and authentic shit. And so I'm pretty sure y'all could understand the metaphor I'm saying that I'm kicking to y'all. And, that's honestly, like I said, that's where the true win is that T.I. got his family. And, 50 got his business. You know what I'm saying? I think, that's and once you can identify what your win is early in life, you'll never have anybody sway you. Well, maybe I can't say never, because people do get tricked out of their spot, like we've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, like I said, if Like That was gonna come out anyway, because First Person Shooter came out anyway. But it's still a choice to be made. If Like That come out, me analyzing that for what it is and who he had to team up with to pull it off, I would have just looked at my son and go, is it worth it for him down the line? Because now I got a kid. Me in real time right now is Blaine. I don't have kids. So, whatever I'm doing, I'm most likely doing it for self. But that doesn't mean that people that I love and care about don't get impacted by my decisions. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you got to be careful what you put out online. That's why you got to be careful that if you popping that shit, and you got to stand on what you mean. You can't really, have these, oh, it was just entertainment, oh, it was just content, when it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? That's whack. And then you lose credibility. And then niggas stop watching you in mass. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what are we there for? The entertainment? I could watch somebody else that's entertaining. At least they don't, you know what I mean? Do all this extra shit to, beat around the bush. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is probably a long-winded video about, 50 verse T.I. and all that. But, beef in general, you know what I'm saying? And how far people are willing to take it just to not lose respect in their city or in their country or on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think I'm a different nigga. You know what I'm saying? I think, like, me personally, like I said, like, of course, if you're reading things that are constantly negative, and even, let's say, if you got 1,000 positive things that someone said about you, but then if someone said that one negative thing that made no sense, but they still said it, it's natural to feel like you got to harp on that and be like, why the fuck couldn't they just get along with the program? But you know what? I already got to the point where I could acknowledge that, and I can go, well, you know what? At least they listen to the record. I can't win everybody. Life isn't designed like that, man. You can't. I'm not the type to just be the yes man to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Or to everybody. You know what I mean? Like my opinion is my opinion. Y'all niggas could probably flame me right now about, my take with the 50 and T.I. situation, but I'm from both areas, bro. I'm not from Bankhead and all of that, but I'm from the A. I'm from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I've spent half my life damn near in Georgia. My early upbringing in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I got real friends till this day out there. You know what I'm saying? So I can't shit on that man's success just because I'm local up north now, and You know what I mean? And I was born up here and I know my way around here and shit like that. Like, nah, I could respect both sides of it. And I could appreciate what they gave to the game. And me being the maniac scientist that I am to study, you know, both artists that I really fuck with, I'm able to then pick up where they left off and make something for the next generation. You know, that's my job. So whether y'all rock with me or not, it really doesn't matter. But if you do, keep watching. We got a lot in store for you guys. Gear 4 is dropping March 9th. You know what I'm saying? You know, my man's D Brown Sounds, he's hosting a sound social event April 4th. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be kicking off the first volume of the show, which is an honor. You know, me and him, we go way back. We started this shit together, and we paved the way for a lot of artists today. You know what I'm saying? We absolutely did. From the mics they record on, that was me. You know, from the constant hours spending in the lab cooking up for Brown to get the sound right and be meticulous on the keys. A lot of that is him because he got a lot of clients now. But in the beginning, when it was just only a handful of people, and me being one of those people that was truly consistent, always in that gym, you know what I'm saying? Here he is today, you know, not only making his own money in his own place of work, but you know what I'm saying? He don't have to punch in a clock, you know, and to provide that skill set for people that need it to make their records what they are today, including me. And so we got to honor that. We got to salute to that, you know, for him being consistent, for him being a family man, for him to, you know, always think about, you know, how can he bring people together, even if we don't necessarily all get along or rock with each other or whatever the reason people have their reasons for, you know what I'm saying? He's always there to be the glue, the nucleus of the operation. And so all I'm asking is that, you know, as grown-ups, both men and women, you know, you come through cordial, you come through respectful of the platform, and, you know, have a good time. There's going to be food, drinks. The admission fee is $10. You got a month in advance to get $10. Don't ask nobody in that motherfucking venue for $10. I'm telling you, trust me when I say this. Don't do that shit. Ain't nobody sponsoring your way just to come in and then leave because it's not hot or lit for you. You can bounce. I mean that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, yeah, man. Just pull up. Pull up. Show your best self that night. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be spinning records. You feel me? I'm going to assemble a dream team of performers. Not too many, because it's not even too much about that. It's really a social event to network. That's just like the treat that niggas can get, you know, in the ambiance of things. Yeah, man. Salute to us. You feel me? You can find me on all streams at Blame Bent. You can find me on a few social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter X, YouTube. I'll throw SoundCloud in there because I know people probably, you know, might not be on the SoundCloud wave or not. But if you are, I'll put a lot of my early tracks or exclusives on that before they hit the streams if they can. If not, they'll live there and on YouTube. It's all Blame Bent. I don't have a Facebook. I'm not gonna make a Facebook until they, you know, acquire my original Facebook. And well, you know, I don't think that's happening because I'm not uber famous for people to care. And so that shit is gone. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, shout outs to y'all for watching it up until this point. Like I said, man, Gear 4 is dropping on March 9th, which is the day Biggie died. I did a tribute for Big and Pac, but being that, you know, you'll hear the record. If you heard the record on Instagram, because the video is there, and on my YouTube, check that out. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts. You know, I'm getting a lot of love and feedback on SoundCloud. You know, shout outs to Repost Exchange for the phenomenal promotion that they got going on for your boy. 2026, man, is special, man. We switching gears. You know, we're able to give back in a clever way. You know what I'm saying? You know, doing a lot more react videos and interviewing artist type videos. You know, I know I'm fly. I know I'm dope already, man. Like, it ain't even about me anymore at this point. Like, you know, I'm doing side quests right now. I can't really tell you what the main mission is yet. You know, there's a lot of beats that I still gotta slay. You know, there's a lot of concepts I still want to pull off, but at this point it's just enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? I got a good amount of records that I'm gonna try to see if I can do some sync licensing type things and, you know, really get some placements going on and shit like that. You know, maybe I'll get a whole new surge of fans that way, to just continue expanding the brand. You know, yeah, man. Yo, this YouTube shit is fire. This YouTube shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? Having a setup, being able to pop it, you know, record like this, spend hours just talking in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took years to get to this, man. It might look simple to others out there that, you know, come from money, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, I see a lot of content creators, you know, really be online struggling, saying like, yo, like, I got the highlight of, you know, or not highlight, but I got, you know, expensive this and expensive that. I got cameras this and all of that, but I'm still not generating a buzz, or I'm still like, you know, I only put six months into this and I'm feeling like I should just quit because I'm not seeing any traction. You know, like, doggy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be grateful for what you got, for who you have in your life. Learn how to utilize your resources in your own backyard. You be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I know niggas right now that made it off of iPhone 7, bro. You know what I'm saying? Niggas didn't have all the gizmos and gadgets, bro. They really didn't. A lot of people started off with way worse and way less, and they became millionaires, you know, and they just consistently showed up and they found tweaks and things that they could edit along the way. And so, bitch ass niggas, stop thinking that you just gonna get it all in 6 months. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, you really gotta put in that time, bro. You gotta put in that pain. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple years. You know, I put 15 plus years into my flow, nigga. Bitch ass nigga, I put 15 years into my flow. That's my flow, nigga. That's not the business. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not video editing. That's not marketing. One could say that me putting up content for that long was marketing, but you still got to position yourself in the marketing with ads and, you know, with showing up at certain events and networking with people, or, you know what I mean, just really figuring out how to do clever things to get your music out there, whether it's joining tournaments or, you know what I'm saying, doing live reviews from people. You cash app somebody, you know, a couple of dollars, they play your tune. You'd be surprised if people really rock with you out there. And now, you know, you unlock a fan base out there that could really ride with you and support what you do. You just gotta try shit, man. You ain't try everything in those 6 months, man. Weak ass nigga. You ain't try everything in those 6 months. Stop being weak, bro. Stop being weak out here, man. Like, that shit is pathetic as fuck, bro. Like, the way how I got it set up now, you feel me? This shit took 15 plus, like, after the fact. I didn't always have this. You know what I mean? If I had all of this shit in the beginning, there's still no guarantee on where I would have been with a fan base or with views or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of mature and evolve with your process, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't just think that, you know what I'm saying, like you just the shit in 6 months. Nigga, that only work for a finite amount of people. You feel me? And even then, you gotta quantify, you know, the relationships they had. You gotta think about the hours they put in. How many hours a day you putting in? You know, cats like me, we got jobs and shit that be usurping our life force and shit. By the time we get to the crib, we don't want to do shit. We just want to get some head and fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Wake up on repeat, roll a blunt. You know what I'm saying? Get to work. You feel me? Like, respectfully, like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, you boys, like, come on, like, for real, like, 6 months, weak ass nigga, 6 months. Man, shut your whole ass up. Shut your whole ass up. Ain't no 6 months in this shit, man. I don't never want to hear no weak ass content creator talking about, yo, man, look, bruv, what do I do? Like, you know, I got this, I got that, and, you know, I put in 6 months, and come on, man, stop playing. Stop playing. You feel me? Like, you gotta, let me tell you something, man. You gotta respect yourself a little bit more than that. You feel me? You know, if you exceptional at your job, you might get a promotion in 6 months. But usually the first 2 or 3 months is probation, right? To kind of test out if you gonna be loyal, if you gonna show up on time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you really cover all areas in the job to where if somebody call off sick, they could rely on you. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the first 2 to 3. So when you saying 6, think of it that way. If the first 2 or 3 months was, yo, he putting out content, but is he gonna be consistent? Does he have a schedule? You know, am I able to binge watch his content based off how many shots he took and put out there? You know what I'm saying? If you barely got pieces of content in 6 months, you know what I'm saying? Then what, like, you know how many people is hyperdriving right now on their dolly, putting out content every day, going live every day? You know what I'm saying? Making art, making music, making merch every day. And see, here's the thing. When I say see what's going on in the field, you damn right you gotta study your field. Absolutely. You gotta do your homework. You gotta figure out what you like about who you're watching and figure out how you could implement that into your game. So that way you can potentially get a fan like you out there watching you. They might not have an urge or a desire to make a podcast. So now you just got a fan watching you for just them being a fan watching you. For me, I got the urge as a creative to create. And so it's only but so much time that I'm going to give a content creator or a podcaster or whatever you want to call them, when I know that the time that I'm giving them, I could give myself cooking up an episode today. You feel me? So you guys got to be aware of that. Absolutely. Y'all got to be aware of that. Y'all can't just be out here thinking that, like imagine if you got it all in 6 months, bro. You going to be panicking and stressed out, feeling like, damn, like, did I get enough practice in? Do I have an intro and an outro? You know, is my thumbnails cold? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, I got 1 million people watching me. Like, am I really that guy for real? Like, you might start second guessing yourself just because you know deep down You didn't put in the volume of work that it takes to even, you know what I'm saying, truly be confident in what you do. You know, I could talk like this at 5 views. Why? Because my confidence permeates from the music. You understand? My confidence permeates from real life experiences. So when I get on this microphone and I start talking my shit, you know what I mean? A nigga probably already think I already got like 100,000 views. Or I'm talking like a nigga at 10,000 plays, whatever. You know, wherever you want to scale it. But I'm not worried about the views, homie. You know, I'm trying to be in that gym. The same way how me and Brown was in that gym in the studio and how we still are. We actually we had a session not too long ago, and we got an upcoming session in March real soon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, humble yourself a little bit, give yourself some grace, give yourself some time, be patient with self, study the field, study the lane that you're trying to, you know, participate in. See what's going on out there. What works for other people might not work for you. But if it's shit you like, hell yeah, implement that shit in your game. Because best believe the niggas that got tens and thousands of followers and subscribers and view counts, they're all taking game from young niggas or little niggas with a little platform like myself just to make themselves that much colder because they realized that's where they were lacking at. You know, niggas be doing live videos 1 minute straight, but then they realize, damn, it's a lot of niggas out there that's putting out original content with just desktop videos, you know, with pre-recorded videos. Maybe I should do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. When they do it like that, then you can go into the lives if all you're doing is the pre-recorded. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, whether niggas say you copying or not, shut the fuck up. Everybody copying and taking and emulating and then mixing the gumbo pot together to make their own version of them. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got the same sound effects. Everybody got the same file. Everybody got the same. You know what I'm saying? Like it, but it's how you use it. It's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about the criticism and the noise from outside niggas that don't pay your bills. Outside niggas that'll see you on a incline, or you know, or you might have a crazy idea or a topic, and niggas will take your shit and not give you credit and act like they came up with it. That's the field. That's what's going on. It's only gonna be a few niggas that really be like, yo, this dude ain't really known like that, but I got this phrase from this guy. Y'all should check him out. It's only gonna be a few niggas like that in the world, period, that'll pay homage and admit. You know what I'm saying? I got receipts. You know what I'm saying? Baby, are we good? It's still going? I got receipts. I got receipts when I show love. I got receipts when I pay homage. I got receipts when I provide a platform for niggas to be on and style on and get their shit off. I got receipts. You know what I'm saying? I'm really that nigga. You feel me? And so, you know, respectfully, man, you know, respect your craft and what you doing. You feel me? Take your time. There might be trendy topics you want to tackle, and you might be too tired to tackle. I would encourage you to rest. Rest. Not, yo, but just do it anyway because the grind. Oh, no, nigga. Rest. Really stew on the ideas you got. Really marinate in your ideas. Really take your time. And then when it's time, you activate. You go all in. You know, that's yo, and the reason why I say rest instead of yo, the grind, just do it like everybody else, just jump on the wave like everybody else. The reason why I say that is because this shit ain't easy just talking into the ether. Talking off the top, being entertaining to the camera, you know, map out your outfit, use lotion for your elbows and your hands. You don't want to be ashy on camera, bitch ass nigga. Take a shower. You know what I mean? You want to know why I say take a shower? Because you need to feel clean. You need to feel pure. You need to feel like, yo, like I'm fresh. That's confidence, bro. You over here musty as fuck, you know, probably smoking, probably sitting in your gamer chair for hours. That C stink. I bet that C stink. And no wonder why bitch ass niggas got attitudes all day. Cause you been stinking all day. Go hit the shower, my nigga. Go wash your ass. Have a fresh thought. Make some tea. You feel me? Roll a blunt after if you want. Be zen the fuck out. And then really formulate your ideas. You could even have them, you could be at work and have your ideas written while you at work. Like, okay, that's what I'm going to talk about. Or this is what I'm going to create. And then, you know what I'm saying? As you build on that thought, by the time you hit the microphone, no matter what time it is, you're just going to go. And I'm telling you everything that I'm doing right now. I'm telling you everything that I'm doing right now. So for niggas watching me thinking that it's impossible, it's not. Because I started from zero. You feel me? I started from zero. I don't have parents I could lean on. It's been like that for years, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's been like that for years. I can't just call somebody for bread when I need it. No, nigga. No. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that shit. You better get your credit up. Talk to the banks, get a credit card. Talk to Cash App. Be like, yo, let me borrow 100. Be responsible with what you borrow by paying the shit back. Create a history of, you know what I mean, paying bread and receiving bread to then get more bread. Be responsible with your bills. Pay your bills, bro. Motherfuckers want the world, and it's like you not even taking care of yourself. How you gonna take care of the world, bro? Start with yourself first. You can't save everybody, bro. Start with yourself first, bro. Get right with self first. That's, yo, like, look, you gotta pick up what I'm putting down for y'all. You got to. Cause I'm seeing too many niggas burn out that I know in real life. Niggas that I care about in real life. People that I care about in real life burning out all because they pleasing everybody else. But they not taking care of self. And then if they look at cats like me that seemingly look like I got it all figured out and I don't. I'm just telling you game. I'm just telling you what's working for me right now. Shit could change, and then when it changed, I could tell you what changed. But you gotta be able to lock in for yourself, man. You gotta motivate yourself and get up and do this shit. Whether you want to write your rhymes, sing, draw, dance. You know what I'm saying? And that's just entertainment shit. If you want to build shit, if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a plumber, you know, if you want to be an electrician, you know, like, figure out what the fuck you want to do and maximize your time in that lane and just do it, man. That's really a key, bro. I don't know how many doors you can unlock with that key, but I know that if you're doing what you love, you're going to find a peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to tell y'all where I work and shit like that, but it ain't no serious paper, to keep it honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But I got just enough time to do that, not be maxed out, to not do what I really want to do what I really want to do. And then, you know, when I feel like I did a lot of what I'm doing, maybe I pick up another job or get a better job that pays a little bit more. And then that way I don't have to commit to 2-3 jobs at once. Like, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you hoe ass niggas don't want to work. That's y'all problem. You niggas is lazy. And I can't really blame y'all too much, because it seemed like a lot of us had just parents that probably didn't give a fuck or wasn't in our lives like that. But you can't even blame that. A lot of this shit also stemmed from the structure of how you was raised and the schools you was in and the shit you learned and the shit now that you gotta unlearn. The shit that you now gotta realize that technology is moving at a rate where you can't afford to be left behind on the resources that are out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about pointing the finger. You know, like, look at yourself in the mirror, figure out what you need to strengthen. You know, if you like playing video games, RPG format and shit, and you like how your stats increase, you know what I'm saying? You notice that you always got to engage in something that's offering resistance for you to overcome. If you always take the path to comfort, you'll never build the resistance you need for self to achieve and overcome shit. You'll just be soft out here. You can't afford to be soft out here, man. You can't. Real talk, you can't. And that's why y'all mad at 50. Because he's not soft. That's why y'all call him a bully. Because he's not soft. You know, if you got shot in your ass 9 times, your mom got scorched and taken out, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit probably will harden you too. That shit would probably, and you survive. Let's throw that in there. And you survive. And then you drop a platinum album, a classic diamond album. You like, you know what I'm saying? When you achieve certain things in life, man, like in certain eras of time, like it's hard for people to understand because they can't understand. They will never understand. And that's why you're always thinking like he's the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Victim shit. Bitch ass nigga shit. Y'all just think, you know what I mean? That someone made it out and they cold about it, that they just ultimately the bad guy. Nah, man. It be some weak ass, jealous ass, soft ass motherfuckers that act like they hard and act like they want to be the bully. This is not for T.I. I'm just talking in general, right? That'll make you think it's all sweet till it's time to take your life, till it's time to set you up, and now you doing life. You feel me? And then you just in the cell like, damn, like where did I go wrong? Like, you know, I thought that was my man's, or I thought everything was gonna be smooth. Nah, man. You try to take shortcuts and got cut short, and that's your problem. Hoe ass. That's your problem. You feel me? So, you know, the wine is clearly working. That shit was nasty as fuck in the beginning, but I think we locked it in. But I say that to say, yo, you know, my old self would say, you know, never give up. I strive to be the best and shit like that. Now, I don't really give a fuck about being the best. I'm just keeping it a stack. It's not about that. You know, I wanna live long. I wanna be healthy. I wanna stick around. I wanna have some kids someday. I wanna set a foundation for them to actually thrive on someday. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna take a lot of hard work and labor, bro. And so you can't really complain about the grind just because you're not where you want to be in 6 months. I don't want to hear that shit from no content creator. And in fact, if you keep talking like that, give me your iPhone 7. Give me your camera. Nigga, give me your lights. Give me your little ring light. I could use all of that because you playing. You playing. I could donate that to a motherfucker right now, and I bet he generate so many ideas in a month that he'll make your 6 months pale in comparison, bro. And he'll get the numbers. And he'll be happy that he got these things. He or she that want to get into it will be happy they got these things afforded to them because, you know what I'm saying, someone took the time to recognize potential and greatness. You know what I'm saying? And see, oftentimes, a lot of people see potential, but they don't want to invest in it. But they'll damn sure wait forever at the finish line. You know, and I can't even really say forever because there is no such thing as forever, one. And two, people that wait for you at the finish line don't mean that they really love you for you before you make it to the finish line. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be with somebody that I'm building with, and then we create our own finish line. It don't have to be where we in traffic with everybody. I don't want to be in traffic with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out what's going to make you stand out, what's going to make you pop, what's going to make you different. And yes, it's going to cost. Everything is pay to play. Everything is pay to play. When you rent a crib, you got 30 to 31 days in that motherfucker. That's subscribing to me. You know what I'm saying? Everything is pay to play, yo. Figure out how to balance your life, how much money coming in, how much is going out. If you got to cut back on things like having internet at your crib and you rather use the internet at your job just so you can save that extra $60 to $80 whatever internet you got, just so you can get the shit you need, and then you turn the internet on, like, think about that. That's a real play. That's some grown ass shit. You know what I'm saying? If you got to cut back on things to, scale where you want to go and where you want to be, like, you got to do that from now. Because I'm telling you, man, the longer you wait on that, you know what I mean, your future self is going to be hemmed up. And then you still going to be stressed out at that point too. So you might as well take the game that I'm offering. You feel me? My name is Blaine Bent. I'm more than a content creator, but for where I'm at on this platform, it is what it is. You feel me? And like I said, man, stay tuned. There's more coming. And on that note, peace.